Thumbelina is a classic fairy tale written by Hans Christian Andersen. It tells the story of a tiny girl named Thumbelina and her adventures in a world filled with creatures of various sizes. Once upon a time, there was a lonely woman who longed for a child. She went to a good fairy and asked for help. The fairy gave her a barleycorn seed and told her to plant it. The woman did as instructed, and soon a beautiful flower grew from the seed. Inside the flower's petals, a tiny girl no bigger than a thumb was born. They named her Thumbelina. Thumbelina lived inside the flower, and her bed was a polished walnut shell. She had a pet butterfly named Miss Maybug and a friend, a field mouse, who visited her often. Thumbelina was a kind and gentle girl who loved to sing and dream of the world beyond her flower. One day, Thumbelina's life took an unexpected turn. A greedy toad saw her and decided to marry her off to her son. The toad's son was equally repulsive to Thumbelina, and she did not want to marry him. The field mouse urged her to accept the proposal because it would provide her with a comfortable life, but Thumbelina could not bring herself to do it. During a night visit from a friendly swallow, Thumbelina shared her predicament. The swallow offered to help her by taking her away from the toad's house. Thumbelina agreed, and the swallow carried her away on his back. Thumbelina embarked on a series of adventures as she traveled with the swallow. She met various creatures, including a cockchafer beetle and a field mouse who both wanted to marry her. She politely declined their offers and continued her journey. As winter approached, the swallow knew he couldn't survive the cold, so he left Thumbelina on a lily pad in a pond and promised to return in the spring. Thumbelina's lily pad eventually floated to the shore of a pond, and she was discovered by a friendly field mouse. The mouse offered Thumbelina shelter and introduced her to a wealthy but rather grumpy mole who agreed to let her stay in his cozy underground home for the winter. Thumbelina was unhappy with the mole's proposal to marry him and decided to escape. With the help of a friendly swallow who had returned in the spring, she flew away from the mole's home. The swallow took Thumbelina to a sunny meadow where she saw a beautiful flower. Inside the flower there was a tiny man, the same size as her. His name was Prince Cornelius, and he had fallen in love with Thumbelina. They decided to get married, and the king and queen of the flower fairies blessed their union. Thumbelina and Prince Cornelius had wings and could now fly together. They flew away from the meadow and had many adventures together. Finally, they found a lovely little home, and Thumbelina was truly happy at last. And so, Thumbelina's adventures led her to true love and a life filled with happiness, and she lived happily ever after in the world of the flower fairies.